We now commence the third game this Saturday live from Lipa City in Batangas with Game 2 of the best of 3 quarterfinal series in this 14 and under of the South Division. It's the number 4 Quezon Junior Huskers taking on the number 5 Dasmariñas Don Pacundo 4A Hoops. And once again, we continue the live coverage of the country's premier youth basketball league, the one and only Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL. And good afternoon, everybody. The name is Cholo Pangilinan covering the action with Coach Quito Limbo and Daphne Cristobal at the sideline. So good afternoon to you, Coach Quito.
Good afternoon, Cho, and sa lahat ng ating mga kaliga. We have an interesting matchup coming right up as both teams put on a show in Game 1.
And before we talk about game number 1, our previous game between these two teams, first let's talk about the playoff bracket. As you can see on our screens, again, this is a matchup between the number 4 Quezon Junior Huskers and the number 5 Dasmariñas Don Pacundo Hoops. So this is none other like the other series. You know, this one is perhaps a close one. This can go either way.
Yes, 100%. Although in Game 1, Quezon Junior Huskers won against Dasmariñas 66 to 64. Although Quezon shot 38% in the field, Quezon let Dasmariñas commit 20 turnovers and converted 20 points of turnovers. And their key player for Quezon Junior Huskers is none other than Matthew Ezekiel Dongog, who made 15 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists.
And talking about on the other side, the Dasmariñas Don Pacundo Hoops, as again, they fell to that team, to Quezon in that game.
Yes, 100%. Although they shot 45% in the field, and 5 out of 16 in three-point range. They need to work on their rebounds as they lost in that department, 39 to 41. In the bench contribution naman, they only made 11 bench points compared to 34 bench points of Quezon. And their player of the game, or rather the player who helped the team wheel them off, is John Lores Tombocon, who made 28 big points with 8 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals.
Definitely, Dasmariñas facing a tough opponent in Quezon, but again, it's number 4 versus number 5. As I said a while ago, this series can go either way. It's anybody's series. But for now, that's it. We'll be turning it over to Gio Cruz, our venue announcer, for the start of our ball game.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're glad to have you here at Lipa City, Youth and Cultural Center, province of Batangas, as we bring you the continuation of Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL Season 2 Playoffs. This is the Game 2 of the best of 3 series 14 under division South quarterfinals between Dasmariñas Don Pacundo 4A Hoops and Quezon Huskers. We are live on the official FB page and YouTube channel of the Junior MPBL. Now let's meet the starters, beginning with Dasmariñas Don Pacundo 4A Hoops. Starting guard number 12, Dave Robbie. Under guard number 18, Zach Pascual. And forward number 8, Simon Tagad. Under forward number 28, Michael Fajardo. And at center, number 24, Kane Collis. Head coach is Alfie Guance, assisted by Archie Bernardino. Team manager, Maynard Tombocon. And now let's meet the starters from the Quezon Huskers. Starting guard number 33, Matthew Dongog. Under guard number 39, Kenji Amante. And forward number 18, Briggs Ismael. Other forward number 23, Kian Royos. And at center, number 7, Mark Aklo. Head coach is Paul John Reyes. Assisted by Reynan Zamora, Mark Pangilinan, Carl Bancono. Team manager, Attorney Don Capunan. Team owners, Honorable Governor Doc Hellington. Honorable Congressman, Attorney Mike Tan. Our game officials, crew chief Alan Paria. Umpire 1, Jack Kaukiran. And umpire 2, Noy Guevara. Junior MPBL Executive Director, Mr. J.R. Navarro. Junior MPBL Commissioner, Mr. Keith Picasso. This is Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL Season 2 Playoffs. Ang Liga ng Bawat Batang Pilipino. Start of the first quarter.
In our Dorad Bola ng Pinoy team starters for Quezon, it's Amante, Dongog, Ismael, Rayos, and Aklo. For Dasmariñas, it's Rabi, Tombocon, Fajardo, Tagad, and Gales.
Yeah.
And again, holding a 1-0 series lead is the Quezon Junior Huskers as they won closely. Only a 2-point win for them in that game number 1. And even though, again, you said there was a few bright spots for Dasmariñas, such as their field goal percentage, their efficiency, and their three-point shots, they weren't able to get that win.
And that game was anybody's ball game. Although that game was just yesterday, because this is the game that was postponed because of the typhoon.
Yeah, so there was no coverage of that game, if everybody's wondering.
Yes.
And, you know, that actually, you know, makes a lot of factors. You know, fatigue could be a factor, the distance of the venue could be a factor, and pressure could be a factor because, again, this is game number 2. And if Dasmariñas loses this one, they go home, literally.
Yes. So for sure, Dasmariñas feels as if their backs is against the wall. As you can see that basket coming from number 23 of Quezon, Kian Rayos.
Yes, Kian Rayas' first bucket of the game belonging to him and company. And talking about that last game, you know, only losing by 2 points, to some extent you really cannot blame yourself for getting that L.
Yes.
You know, at some point, it has to be because of the breaks of the game.
Yes, 100%. But the turnovers of Dasmariñas really caused that game, committing 21 turnovers, and they let Quezon convert 20 points out of it. That's a big blow for the part of Dasmariñas.
Meanwhile, Bricks Ismael sinks that second bucket of the game for Quezon as they're now handling this 5-0 lead. Oh, almost 2 minutes passing by in chapter number 1. Rabi getting fouled. And I believe that's going to be 2 freebies for them. So Bricks Ismael getting called for that foul.
Yes.
But wait a minute, there's no free throws. That was only called a blocking foul. Meanwhile, ball still with Dasmariñas. That gets blocked by Quezon. Meanwhile, Dongog is on the run. Dongog will send it out. Ismael up top. Amante, baseline drive. Great drop pass. Rayos, once again, 4 points for him in this game.
That was a great find para dito kay number 39, Kenji Amante. And you can see the lineup of Quezon. It seems like they're not 14 years old.
I mean, definitely, visually, they have the height advantage.
Yes.
If we're going to look at them in a collective way,
Oh, yes.
you can see the orange shirts are much bigger.
Yes, and much lengthier.
And perhaps that's going to be the challenge for Dasmariñas. They have to replicate their 31% field goals from 3-point their last game, because obviously penetrating against this tall Quezon Junior Huskers will be a challenge.
Yes, 100%. And plus, the Dasmariñas need to work on boxing out, because if they don't, the big men of Quezon will really punish you.
And not to mention Kenji Amante. You know, he's tall. He's tall for someone 14 or below 14.
Yeah.
But he's a guard. So that's another problem for them. But that time it's Dave Rabi, the little guy, scoring the first bucket of Dasmariñas in this game.
And last game for Rabi, he made 11 points with 4 assists.
Not bad.
Yes.
Not bad for someone like him. You know, not the biggest of players. Actually, not the fastest even. But I believe he plays with heart. He plays with his mind.
Yes.
Meanwhile, here comes Rabi and company. Gales has nowhere to go. Pascual was asking for it. Gales, though, will lose it. And he goes out of bounds possession, going to the side of the orange shirts. And by the way, their senior counterparts are now in the MPBL finals.
Yes.
So who knows? It might be Quezon Junior MPBL finals as well. Meanwhile, Ismael, they will fire for 3. That's money. from Bricks Ismael. Second three of the game, 6 points for him. Let's take another look on that shot. Selfish play coming from Kenji Amante, locating his teammate outside. That was open. On the other side, Tagad, sidestep, puts one up. Tough shot, won't go. That was the rebound by Ismael. Meanwhile, Kenji Amante going to work.
And that fast break opportunity of Quezon is really disruptive in the part of Dasmariñas, and that calls for a timeout.
Early double-digit lead for the Junior Huskers. 12-2. Over 5 minutes remaining in quarter number 1.
Nakita naman natin in that victory para sa Quezon Junior Huskers, ang puhunan daw nila ay depensa. So this time around, ganun din daw ang gagawin nila even with the absence of itong Lawrence Tambocon para sa koponan ng Dasmariñas. Nung nakausap ko earlier itong si Coach PJ Reyes, sabi niya nga sa akin, he's just so happy with how his players stepped up. Talking about itong si Bricks Ismael. Yesterday, he scored 11 points at yung 9 points galing nga sa 3-point shooting. So nakita niya na nga lang daw sa mata ng mga bata na parang lahat sila, even from the bench, kayang mag-step up, and definitely that really paved the way to get that victory last night. Balik sa inyo.
Thank you very much, Daphne, for that report. And indeed, the absence of Lawrence Tombocon will be crucial for Dasmariñas Don Pacundo 4A hoops. But then again, that's more reason for the likes of Rabi Tagad, Domingo Gales, whoever it is, to step up.
100%. And you can see last game for Tombocon, he made 28 points with 8 rebounds, 3 assists. And this should be a collective effort in the part of Dasmariñas if they want to pull this game off.
It looks like Quezon looking to seal the deal early in this game already. A 17-point lead and only one field goal made for Dasmariñas. Meanwhile, Tagad has it. He's up against Dongog. Dasmariñas trying to figure something out. They're having a hard time. Outside, Beronio. That's no good for him. Rebound by Ismael. Dongog will lose it. Great defense from Dasma. Tagad, he will attack. The sidestep. Unable to finish though. Rebound by Aklo.
Missed opportunities in the part of Dasmariñas to make a basket in this first quarter.
The Junior Huskers with the basketball. Dongog back to Amante at the left wing. Now at the right corner, they fire for 3. That's Dongog. No good for him. And Ismael tried to hustle for that ball, but possession going to Dasmariñas. Here comes Tagad. This time it's Vironio. They fire for 3. That's no good. They get it back. Another try. And Michael Fajardo Jr. will go to the line after getting fouled. Let's take another look.
And he knows that he's gonna miss that shot, so he followed the ball.
And again, that's what you said. They will need to do more of those. They will have to have better anticipation.
Yes.
Better box out. And of course, they will need to sink those free throws.
And Michael Fajardo is averaging 7 points with 2.9 rebounds. This makes his first basket of the game.
Second one on its way for Fajardo Jr. That's no good, but they will get it back. Great box out on the side of Dasmariñas, but they're unable to finish. Looks like Gales got hit on the face. Nonetheless, the Junior Huskers will continue in transition. Amante inside, great find, and they exploit the defense of Dasmariñas.
You can see Quezon really taking advantage of playing against 5 versus 4. Take a look at that replay, moving the ball around.
So it looks like play will continue. Again, Gales seems to have gotten hit in the face, I believe, by Mark Aklo. But
Yes.
right now, there's no blood. There's not a sign of anything, if any wound, but obviously that was an elbow to the face. So still hurts nonetheless.
Gales needs to show his toughness here in this early part of the game, or else he's gonna get attacked physically by these big guys of Quezon Huskers.
I mean, I'm sure you know what that feels like. You know, whenever you get elbow to the face, but there's no blood. There's not any wound, but there's still pain.
Yeah, yes.
And the referees, you know, actually anybody really cannot make a case for you that that was really lethal because
Oh,
there's no
yes.
blood or there's no pain. Or there is pain, but there's no blood.
And at the same time, there's no intention for Alcacid to hit.
Meanwhile, that's no good from Dasmariñas. Rebound by De La Peña. So a couple of new faces for the Junior Huskers. And that is no good. But still Kenji Amante on the floor. Out of bounds. Possession staying with Dasmariñas.
And Dasmariñas really missing Tombokon in this game. Only scored 3 points.
Dasmariñas, they have 17 to shoot. But that's gonna be a steal. Escarza, he will finish in transition. So make that now a 20-point lead, an early 20-point lead for the Junior Huskers as it's only the first period.
And it's a fourth team foul in the part of Quezon Huskers. A chance for Dasmariñas to be aggressive and put themselves in the free throw area.
Domingo. This time, it's Rabi. High floater, that's no good. They get it back though. Fajardo Jr., one-hander, that's in for them.
Great push-up shot there by Fajardo. Taking his second, third basket of the game.
Meanwhile, off the glass, that's good for Escarza. So it's back to a 20-point lead as Dasmariñas obviously having difficulties crossing half court. Great hustle from the Junior Huskers. Meanwhile, they fire for a three. That's no good. They get it back, still not falling. Another get back. But there's gonna be a foul. Also, it's called on the orange shirts, on De La Peña.
Yes, and that puts him in the penalty situation and chance for Dasmariñas to score a basket.
So Dasmariñas a chance to minimize the already big lead. It's at 20 with 8.4 seconds remaining in chapter number 1. First one is no good for Domingo. And again, talking about Dasmariñas Don Pacundo Hoops, they lost in game number 1. That's 1 out of 2 for Domingo. The Junior Huskers turn the ball over and there's only 4 seconds remaining. Last 2 seconds. Renata unable to catch that, and that'll be the end of our first period. 25-6. It's a 19-point lead on the side of the Quezon Junior Huskers. And we'll approach our second period in a while. Once again, this is Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL.
Liga ng bayan na to, mga kabataan na sugod, Junior MPBL para sa
Back to the action right here, 25-6. It's a 19-point lead for the Quezon Junior Huskers. And again, talking about this Quezon Junior Huskers squad, they finished last season, not last season, but this season's regular season with a 4th spot. That's 8-3 record for them, and Dasmariñas at 6-5. So only a 2-point difference, a 2-game difference for them. But first, a bucket of our second period belonging to Kian Rayos and the Junior Huskers. Meanwhile, Dasmariñas having a hard time. Kimar, that's short. Possession back to the Junior Huskers.
In the shots of Dasmariñas, you can see that they're very tentative and looks like afraid to shoot the ball.
And again, that is the role of John Lawrence Tombocon, who is absent in this game. He's the shot maker of Dasmariñas.
Yes.
But again, just like what I said in that first period, it's a chance for the other guys to show what they can do, especially in the big stage in our playoffs.
Because at the end of the day, that's what the coaches wants you guys to do inside the court, is to have that effort and that mentality to fight.
So wait a minute, I think some of the players were late, as we're now seeing John Lawrence Tombocon in this game.
Oh, this is very surprising.
Yes, I think they were indeed late. Because
Oh, yes.
a while ago, it has been confirmed that Lawrence Tombocon wasn't on the bench. But right now, first bucket of the game for Tombocon. Actually, he was only playing less than, what, a minute? Only playing like 20 seconds in this game.
We're talking about not wasting time para dito kay Tombocon.
Meanwhile, Amante outside. He's at the top of the arc. In the middle, Aklo. Great passing for the Junior Huskers. Inside, the reverse ends up with a bucket. Meanwhile, Dasmariñas perhaps getting extra motivation from the presence of Tombocon. Great defense from Quezon, but Dasmariñas will retain possession.
Take a look at that replay and the reverse layup para dito kay Cantara.
Meanwhile, they fire for 3. That's money from John Lawrence Tombocon.
Oh, what a shot there by Tombocon. Instant 5 points already.
Playing in less than 3 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. Meanwhile, great drop pass. Another bucket for the Junior Huskers.
And despite of Tombocon scoring back-to-back baskets, Quezon Huskers answering back.
Meanwhile, Domingo to Tagad. They step on the brakes to the corner. Domingo for 3. That's no good. To get it back, Tagad, the spin, Tagad. And that hits Gales, and possession now will be with the Junior Huskers.
And the miscue between Tagad and number 24, Gales.
Amante for 3, that's no good. Rebound, Domingo. Dasmariñas having difficulties as Aklo reclaiming the possession for Quezon, and looks like Dave Rabi getting called for that foul.
And it's a sorry turnover in the part of Dasmariñas.
Let's take another look on this great execution coming from the Junior Huskers. That was a 4-point swing for them. Meanwhile, Dongog almost losing it. Sends it inside. Outside again, but that's intercepted by Rabi. Looks like Dongog gets called for the foul. With a 2-point lead for the Junior Huskers. Looks like Quezon will look to end the series early, sweeping their opponents.
But that was a good play for Dasmariñas, that backdoor cut by Tombocon. Hindi lang niya na-convert.
Yes, and we still have an eternity of basketball to be played, so who knows? Dasmariñas might get back into this one. But if they're not able to stop Quezon from playing like this, and that's gonna be impossible.
You can see Dasmariñas talagang nabuhayan nung dumating si Tombokon.
Tombokon now with 5 points in this game. He will have to get to work. They're already down by a bunch. Tombokon to the corner. Fajardo out to Tombokon. They swing it around. Rabi, the fake. He attacks. Rabi getting fouled.
I love this kid play. He has that hesitation move to attack the basket.
Another look on that hesitation move you were saying. And 2 freebies coming up for the little guy, Dave Rabi. First one is no good for Rabi.
He's averaging 7.6 points with 1 rebound and almost 3 assists.
And that's the 3rd best in his team. Only above him is Simon Tagad, is averaging 9. Tombokon averaging 14 a game. Meanwhile, Rabi, quick hands. Here comes Tagad. Simon Tagad, outside pass. Fajardo, tough shot, and no good. Rebound by the Junior Huskers. And another play completed by the orange shirts.
Great transition offense para dito sa Quezon Huskers.
Rabi against Amante. They provide a pick for him. There's a switch, but he gives it to Tombokon. Lawrence Tombokon, inside pass, Tagad the fake. Great move, but he's unable to finish. He gets it back, another try, still not falling for him.
Emphatic rebound para dito kay Aklo.
And the Junior Huskers, they're up by 24. Amante with the basketball in his hands. Left wing pass, Dongog for the 3. And that's an air ball, a rebound by Gales. Almost a steal by the Huskers. What effort in defense from them. Tombokon though, tough shot, no foul call.
Seems like he was hit in the head para dito kay Tombokon, but no foul was called.
Over 3 minutes remaining in chapter number 2. They fire for 3. That's no good, but they get it back. Meanwhile, another try, still not falling. Aklo, the big guy, puts one up. That's good for Mark Aklo.
What a rebound there by Aklo, and that's his 10th rebound together with 6 points.
So make that now 37-11, a 26-point lead for the Junior Huskers. Fajardo gets blocked by Aklo, but they get it back. Tombokon at the baseline. Now it's Fajardo, wing 3, won't fall. Tombokon gets it back. Finally, Dasmariñas scoring.
And that's a very smart move by Tombokon, releasing that quickly to make that basket.
And the Quezon Junior Huskers calling a timeout right here as we see this John Lawrence Tombokon, a much needed bucket for the Dasmariñas team. And they're down by a bunch. 2 minutes, 22 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. Back to the action right here, 37-13. It's a 24-point gap in favor of the Quezon Junior Huskers. And again, they're leading this series 1-0. And they're looking to finally advance to the next round, hopefully beating the Dasmariñas. But again, still an eternity of basketball to be played. Still anybody's ball game, at least for this point.
Oh, yes.
But if the Dasmariñas cannot stop this Quezon play, I mean, they will face a bigger lead, and unfortunately, they will have to face an L.
Yes, that's correct. And you can see Tombokon on the bench replacing Pascual.
It looks like Quezon, another bucket for them on that timeout.
What a display of pressing, of breaking the press para dito sa Quezon Huskers.
Meanwhile, Rabi, the ball is in his hands. He's up against Escarza. Rabi, the spin. Thought about the shot. Pascual puts one up. That's no good. He gets it back, still not falling. And he'll draw a foul. 2 freebies on its way for Pascual.
And Jor-El Zach Pascual is one of the key players that needs to step up in this game. He's averaging 6 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist.
I mean, if you're named after Superman's father,
Oh, yes.
you have to contribute to your team. Second one on its way, but he goes 0 out of 2. Dasmariñas will need more from him and from everybody, apparently. And it's now with the Quezon Junior Huskers. Inside, no one was there to pick up Cyrus Parsha.
And again, the ball movement of Quezon Huskers is very lethal and on point.
41-13. A really big lead right now, 27 if I'm not mistaken. Or 28 rather.
Yes.
So here comes Parsha. That's no good, he draws a foul. 2 freebies this time now for the Quezon Junior Huskers. It's gonna be second team foul of Dasmariñas.
And despite of Tombokon being in this game already, Quezon has 16 points already in the second quarter.
Again, momentum is a factor on that one because when John Lawrence Tombokon arrived, the momentum was already in the side of Quezon.
That's correct. And in the first quarter, Quezon made 25 points against 6 points of Dasmariñas.
And not to mention Dasmariñas' efficiency is not really good. I mean, just like what you said in game number 1, that was their strength. That was a bright spot
Yes.
for them. But right now, they're only shooting 5 out of 28, 17%. And even their three-point percentage isn't looking good.
Yes.
That's another bright spot for them during that game number 1.
Yeah, 1 out of 5 in the 3-point.
Meanwhile, Briggs Ismael, if I'm not mistaken, that's his third three-pointer of the game.
Talking about quality minutes for Ismael.
Meanwhile, Tagal unable to knock down that transition lane. On the other side, Benitez will score. First bucket of the game for him. And everybody contributing on the side of the Junior Huskers. And that's the end of our first half. 47-13, a big-time lead, a commanding lead for the side of the Quezon Junior Huskers, 47-13. But still, we have an eternity of basketball to be played. Will the Quezon Junior Huskers close the series, or will Dasma force a game number 3? That's the question. We'll head on in a while to our second half. And once again, this is Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL.
Taas noo kahit kanino, walang ibang sinisigaw ang masang Pilipino. Bumagsak, bumangon, hinarap ang mga hamon, hanggang ang kahirapan tuluyan nating matalo.
Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL would like to thank Extreme One-Stop Shop Appliances.
Dorite Bola ng Pinoy, the first Pinoy basketball brand, Don Benitos, ang pambansang cassava, Nature Spring, Number 1, bottled water in the Philippines. Pound for pound fitness. B. Liga Ready. Jinky Skin. Empowering women by redefining beauty. Pound Active. For quality sportswear.
Red Dynasty, offering comfort Chinese food and overall 5-star experience. Winford Resort and Casino Manila, a luxury integrated resort.
Special thanks to Mayor Eric Africa and Honorable Michael Gerard Mikey Morada of Lipa City, Batangas for hosting today's games. And Mr. Ivan Nukam of Boss I. Maraming salamat.
Kayo ng Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL at kasama po natin ngayon si Assistant Coach Carl Bangkoro ng team Quezon Junior Huskers. Magandang gabi, Coach Carl. Actually, last game po yung naging laro ng Quezon. Tapos bumiyahe pa po sila. 1:30 AM na po sila kanina nakauwi. So physically and mentally draining. Pero the way they perform ngayon, especially the first half, parang gustong-gusto po talaga nila kung panalong to.
They just really want to win this game para sakto, makafocus sa semis, and at the same time, get the rest na rin, lalo na yun nga, back-to-back games, late na kauwi kanina, tas late na naman ulit makakauwi. So at least, while they're here, put in the effort, maximize na rin para komportable na yung uwi mamayang gabi.
And it's really paying off on this game. Coach Carl, anyone you would like to say thank you or gusto niyo pong bigyan ng bati ngayon?
Sa supporters ng Quezon Junior Huskers, especially sa ownership and management, kala Governor Dr. Helen Tan, kay Boss RD Tan, kay Congressman Attorney Mike Tan, and kay Doc Kim Tan, as well as sa team manager Attorney Don Kapunan. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pagsuporta sa aming team and sa campaign for this season. Thank you po.
Thank you so much, Coach Carl, and good luck po sa Quezon Junior Huskers. At syempre, babalik ko na sa inyo yan, Cho and Coach Heath.
So we return to the action right here. Once again, thank you very much, Daphne. And that was Coach Carl Bangkoro. Great words coming from Coach Carl. I mean, you're here as well anyway. So why
Yes.
not just maximize your opportunity, maximize it. And you know, these guys are young. Who knows, this might be the highlight of their basketball careers.
Yes.
Because again, basketball is not for everybody. So why not just, enjoy what you have right now.
And this is a total team effort in the part of Quezon Huskers, as they're really trying to take advantage of the mistakes or the fact that Lawrence Tombokon was late in this game. As you can see, the halftime stats, the reason why Quezon is up by a huge margin, 34 points, is because of their defense. Starting off with the rebounding, they grabbed 24 rebounds, talking about Quezon, against 18 of Dasmariñas, shooting 61% in the field, and they let Dasmariñas commit 10 turnovers. And you can see Dasmariñas really struggling in the field, shooting 16%.
And there you have it again, our halftime score 47-13. A commanding lead for the Quezon Junior Huskers. And they're the epitome of no excuses. And again, they arrived at home very late, a while ago. I mean, not yesterday, it was considered a while ago. 1:30 AM.
Yes.
And right now they're playing basketball again. So literally, ball is life for these young guns of the Quezon. Meanwhile, no good. Rebound by Himar. Dasmariñas losing it. So possession going back to the Junior Huskers.
A miscue there in Dasmariñas. And those are the things that you really need to take care of, yung mga unforced turnovers.
A bucket coming from Kenji Amante.
Kenji Amante, a stellar performance all season long in this season 2. He's averaging 17 points with almost 4 rebounds and 4 assists with 4 steals.
Meanwhile, that's a miss coming from Dasmariñas. Halili, he will lose it in transition. Possession back to Quezon.
Ang sayang yung effort na ginawa ni Halili getting that steal.
Amante to the corner. Obshana for 3. That's money from the right corner.
What a shot there by Shana. That's his first 3-pointer in the game.
Halili inside to the big guy. And they finally fish for a foul. That is Japeth Hiponya. 2 free throws coming up for him. Meanwhile, Kenji Amante has the basketball in his hands. He tried to drop it, but that's going to be a steal for Dasmariñas. As it's almost 2 minutes passing by. Meanwhile, a steal for Quezon. Great find of Shana. He won't finish, but they will get it back. And it's a steal coming from Dasmariñas. A counter steal for the Junior Huskers of Shana. Nowhere to go. And a potential steal again for Sanchez, but out of bounds. Possession going back to the Junior Huskers. And now we turn it over to Daphne Cristobal for a report.
Joined Coach Quito right after that halftime interview. I immediately went to the huddle of Dasmariñas Don Pacundo Hoop. Some players were actually warming up, having those shooting. Pero eto si Lawrence Tambocan and some of his teammates were actually emotional. They were down on the floor at personally, di ko nga nakausap itong si Lawrence when I asked him if he was okay. So emotions were high during that huddle at they were just taking their time to breathe in and breathe out, and hopefully they could still bounce back on this game. Remembering itong si Lawrence Tambocan, he is the soul para sa kanyang koponan. Balik sa inyo.
Thank you very much, Daphne, for that report. And indeed, we've mentioned Lawrence Tambocan again and again, and he's been quiet in this game. His team needs his services.
Yes, 100%. And he can't. Dasmariñas can't afford for Tambocan not to play in this game, in this playoff.
Meanwhile, they fire for three. Nothing going in for the Dasmariñas squad. And everything working on the side of the Quezon Junior Huskers.
And again, itong si Ovshana trying to take advantage of the minutes that he's given.
Meanwhile, that's short, as I believe that was blocked.
Take a look at that replay. Shana making that basket, that layup.
Meanwhile, three-point attempt that's not going in for them. But they get it back. Perez outside. So a couple of new faces for Dasmariñas. Perhaps they want to field them now their other troopers. But is this a sign of waving the white flag?
I guess so. Although you can see Dasmariñas trying to give. Nandiyan pa naman sina Pascual, or rather, itong 39, itong si Sanchez.
So perhaps not completely,
Yes.
but they're still playing hard. That's what matters. And a timeout will be called by Dasmariñas, presented to you by Nature Spring. A 54-14 commanding lead still for the Junior Huskers, as there's over 5 minutes remaining in chapter number 3. Back to the action right here, 54-14, over 5 minutes remaining. Marcelo, another 2 points, another new name for the Junior Huskers scoring. So not the usual guys being played here by Team Quezon.
Yes, and it's the bench players already of Quezon who's playing here in this third quarter.
And actually same with Dasmariñas. But just like Fajardo was put in, same with Gales,
Yes.
who started this ball game. Well, that's going to be another beautiful execution on the side of the Junior Huskers. Meanwhile, Dasmariñas still fighting, but they're down by a bunch already. And if you're Quezon, I mean, you're gonna score potentially 70 to 80 points in this game, and you already have 58 in the third.
Yes.
That must be an achievement for you, considering you're a 14-under team. It's not normal for kids at 14 or below 14 to score this amount of points in a game.
Yes, in last game nila, it's just 66 to 64, and now Quezon is at 58 points already.
Exactly, and that really is because of their momentum. I mean, every transition opportunity, every fast break opportunity, even the three-point ranges, you know, they don't really fumble those kinds of opportunities for them. And that's exactly what Coach Carl Bancoro said during the halftime interview. They literally and figuratively just take advantage of the opportunities they're getting. Meanwhile, Quezon still trying to execute some plays, and they execute once again very well.
Yeah, you can see that moving the ball around from left to right. You see the Dasmariñas trying to collapse.
Perez from deep, that won't hit rim. Long pass, intercepted by Fajardo Jr. Fajardo to Tagad. Thought about the three, has nowhere to go, he will attack. He puts one up, that's too strong. Quezon still running. Quezon will still score. They're at 60 points only in the third period. Gales to the wing. Perez for three. That's money. And who knows, that might be a sign of good things to come for Dasmariñas.
And that's the first three-pointer of Perez in this game.
Meanwhile, Marcelo. Inside. That's good. That's Kian Yanilia, another new name for the Quezon Junior Huskers. So over 2 minutes remaining in the third. Quezon completely dominating their opponents. Gales started this game. He'll fish for a foul, and that's going to be 2 freebies for him.
And that sequence, ito si Gales using his footwork. Take a look at that replay. Puts him in the free throw and gets 2 chances.
Two free throws coming up for Gales.
John Gales averaging 4 points with almost 5 rebounds.
Second one on its way, that's no good. Rebound captured by De La Peña. Quezon will now relax, looking to execute a play. At the corner, it's back outside. They continue to attack, right corner. Marcelo at the baseline, back to him, give and go action. But unable to sink it for the Quezon Junior Huskers. Beronio. That was intended for Gales. But the Junior Huskers able to gain possession of that steal, but Fajardo getting it back for Dasmariñas. Another try. Still not falling. And suddenly the pace of this game getting faster. As Quezon, they will try for 3. Marcelo, no good from downtown. It's going back to Dasmariñas.
And despite of Quezon up by 54 points or 45 points, They still try to move the ball around and be patient, trying to work on the system.
So it's back to the Quezon Junior Huskers. Meanwhile, Marcelo. This time it's the Quezon Junior Huskers still trying to figure something out. Beautiful execution, but that's great defense from Gales.
There's 9 more seconds in the shot clock for Quezon to make a basket here.
Marcelo in the middle, Yanilia. That's no good. They try to save it. It's out of bounds. Possession going back to Dasmariñas.
So with just under 24 seconds in the game, Dasmariñas only made 5 points in this third quarter, while Quezon has 17.
Meanwhile, the Junior Huskers still putting out hustle. Tough shot that won't go in. Possession going back to Dasmariñas. And that'll be it for chapter number 364 to 18. Big time lead still for the Quezon Junior Huskers as they're looking to close out this series once and for all and to advance to the next round. But who knows, Dasmariñas still has one quarter to say something about that. And we'll return. Once again, this is Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL. Back to the action for the start of the fourth and final period. Again, Quezon Junior Huskers looking to end this series and advance to the second round, to the semifinals of the South Division in the 14 and under. But still, Dasmariñas trying to figure something out. And they draw that early three-point shooting foul. And that's going to be 3 free throws for Jor-El Pascual. Another look on that angle. Pascual, first free throw on its way. That's no good. Oh, that's good rather.
And this is a very upsetting result in the part of Dasmariñas. Because lumaban sila nung game 1 against Quezon Huskers. And they just lost by 2 points.
And again, just like what we've been discussing, it's not like the gap between these two teams during the regular season was big.
Yes.
I mean, there was only a 2-game difference between these teams, so you really cannot say that one was better or one is simply better than the other. So it's definitely disappointing, upsetting, heartbreaking.
Yeah. And fun fact, yung game nila during the elimination, Quezon also won by only 2 points. So you can see talagang Dasmariñas can really play against this Quezon Huskers.
Yeah, it's safe to say that, no, you know, for the breaks of the game, it has to be because of the breaks of the game.
Oh.
At that time, what a shot coming from Marcelo. And yeah, continuing on what we're seeing, really disappointing for them, at least for themselves, because they know for themselves that they can fight, they can compete with this Quezon Junior Husker squad. But again, that has not been the case this game.
Take a look at that replay, that hang time by De La Cruz, or rather De La Peña.
Pascual drops it to Tagad. Great play for Dasmariñas.
That's a great find para dito kay Pascual for a cutting Tagad.
Meanwhile, the corner. Left wing. Now it's going to be tipped by Rabi, but Benitez recovers. Left wing 3. That's no good. They fight for the rebound, but possession ends up with Dasmariñas.
So you can see that replay, the Pinoy step of Pascual dishing it out to Tagad. I hope we can get more of those.
Number 22,
So it's 66 to 24. Dave Rabi has the basketball, the spin, the shot. Almost an hand one, but that's... Oh, wait a minute, there's gonna be an offensive foul actually called on Dave Rabi. But that was a great move nonetheless for the little guy. I believe just extended his elbow a little bit. So almost 3 minutes passing by in chapter number 4. Dasmariñas still trying to play tight defense. That's good on their part. The junior Huskers able to take care of the basketball. But they're unable to score. Rebound by Jorel Pascual.
That's a nice move para dito kay Fajardo. Using that fake. Or rather Tagad. That was Tagad. Look in that replay. Talking about being patient with the ball. And so that's a pound for pound play para dito kay Tagad.
Still, it's a 40, or rather 39-point lead on the side of Quezon. I mean, safe to say at this point of the game, you know, Quezon really just dominated their opponents. To simply put it, they were better in every aspect. They sacked their three-pointers. You know, they didn't waste any opportunity, whether it was in transition, whether it was open looks. And it wasn't even the usual guy who made the noise. Talking about Kenji Amante. We have Brix Ismael scoring 13, the most in this game. So that's saying something. That's saying that this Quezon Junior Huskers rather, even though their best player isn't necessarily making the noise, making some moves, they can still win because they have more reliable guys.
Yeah, talking
outside.
about the others or the bench players really capitalizing their opportunities here.
And not to mention as well, they have the size.
Yes, and the length.
So even if they won't score, even if the other guys won't score, the likes of Aklo, they have the size.
Oh, yes.
De La Peña, they have the size. Escarza coming off the bench. Obshana, not having the size, but we saw him knock a couple of shots in transition and at the three-point line.
I forgot to mention Aklo. He has 6 points with 10 rebounds.
And I'm sure if you've watched the game, you wouldn't notice that at all.
Yeah.
And same goes with Kian Rayos, who scored what, the first 4 points of this game. So definitely a lot of bright spots for the Quezon Junior Huskers, and I'm sure their next opponents will have a hard time against them. So right now, Dasmariñas, I believe, just looking to end this game. But talking about them, you know, it's, again, really disappointing. But that stems from a positive note that they are a good team. That's why it's disappointing.
Yes, that's true. It seems like the coaches of Dasmariñas really giving the others some experience in a playoff environment.
I mean, you wouldn't be disappointed on a team that you know it's gonna lose anyway.
Yes.
So I'm disappointed. We're all disappointed because this is a team that you expect, you know, to at least have a close battle.
Yeah.
And that stems from the fact that we know they're a good team.
Yes, I'm also expecting Dasmariñas to be in the front runners of teams who will go deep in the playoffs. They're like the dark horse in this playoff tournament for the 14 and under division.
Yes, but again, we have to credit the Quezon Junior Huskers. This is no upset at all.
Oh, yes.
I mean, there's only a 2-game difference between them in their records. And again, there's the 5th seed versus the 4th seed. So definitely no upset. You cannot consider this an upset. And just, you know, wanting to credit this Quezon Junior Huskers team for really exerting effort. And themselves are the reason why they are winning and why they will win this game.
Yes. And their demeanor also, you show, like, even though they're really up by a bunch right now, they're still executing the plays and really plays discipline in terms of defense.
And that's what you need. I mean, coming deep into the playoffs, you're going to face much stronger teams than Dasmariñas. You're going to face what Antipolo has possibly in the finals. If you're eyeing for the finals, of course. I mean, who wouldn't? You're going to face teams like Antipolo who are undefeated in the regular season. So, you know, you have to play your best basketball and you have to hold your team to high standards and consider this kinds of win normal.
And not only that, you're talking about Las Piñas with Esomchi on the South Division. So this should be like a practice game for Quezon Huskers.
Exactly. I mean, I've talked about Antipolo, but I forgot Sammy Somchi.
Yeah.
So yeah, you also have Binyan.
Oh yes.
Who has the likes of Angelo Arzola, Good Luck Okebata,
Oh yeah.
Benedict Solas. So that's a tough matchup for the guards of Quezon.
Plus the Devron Benitez in Binyan.
I forgot he was already in Binyan. He played for Mikoayan.
Yeah.
But now he's in Binyan. So yeah, I mean, that's going to be a tough matchup considering, again, the strength of this Quezon squad or their guard. So hopefully, I mean, not hopefully, I'm sure if ever they do meet somewhere, it's going to be a thrill. So right now it's at 70-31 as we're a little under 3 minutes remaining in our 4th period. Obshana drops it. Quezon still executing great plays, and that's a part of it. Alili. The pick from Tagad. Mid-range jumper. That's no good. Rebound by the Junior Huskers once again. And so far, they're shooting 54% in this game. Very efficient. And they're on their way to score, what, 80 points to 85 points in this game. Very impressive for a team of 14-year-olds or below 14-year-olds. We're down to our last 2 minutes of this game. Quezon also grabbing 40 rebounds so far, compared to 32 only of Dasmariñas, and 19 assists compared to only 4 of their opponents. So talk about ball circulation and doing a great job.
And total dominance in the part of Quezon Huskers.
And Dasmariñas getting a total of 20 turnovers at least so far. So again, that's gotta hurt. You allow 20 turnovers, you allow 19 assists. That's definitely gonna hurt at some point in the match. And 50 points in the paint for Quezon compared to 18 only of their opponents.
Yes, and that's a bad formula for Dasmariñas.
Yes, that's more than twice of their opponents' points in the paint. So again,
Against the score of Dasmariñas.
exactly. 50 points in the paint, and Dasmariñas only scoring 35 overall in this game. So that has to say volumes about what kind of game Quezon has played, what kind of team they are, and what kind of team the other teams will be facing in them in the next round.
13 seconds on the shot clock.
There's under a minute remaining in the fourth period. Looks like they're just burning some time right here. Dasmariñas continuing to execute. Props to the coaching staff of Dasmariñas for giving their other troopers a chance to experience the court, experience some playoff basketball action. And I mean, you know, I'm sure every coach of the 14 and under will agree. If you don't enjoy the game, if you let pressure contain you rather than enjoyment, then what's the point of everything, right?
Yes, that's true.
What's the point of playing basketball, playing here, if you don't enjoy what you're doing and you're consumed by pressure, you're consumed by everything else?
Yes, 100%. And at the end of the day, this is a developmental league.
Yes, that is exactly the point. It's a developmental league. Even if your players don't contribute, the important thing is they develop in the long run. And that is it for our game number 2, 72-37. Big time W for the Quezon Junior Huskers to close out this series and proceed to the next round. What a game it has been. Congratulations to the coaches, to the players, and to the whole management of the Quezon Junior Huskers. And again, their senior counterparts are in the MPBL final, so it's not impossible for them as well to put themselves in that position. And if ever that does happen, it's going to be a good sight to see.
So in the South Division for the 14 and under, you have Muntinlupa and Binyan advancing, and then Quezon Huskers also advanced, and most likely they're gonna be up against Las Piñas.
Yes, Sami Somchi and company.
That's an exciting game to watch.
Yes, it's gonna be a big task for the likes of Kian Rayos, Marca Aklo. They will have to contain him, of the likes of Rafael de la Peña and Matthew Dongog. And of course, the guards as well of Las Piñas are no jokes.
Oh, yes.
So that's going to be something. But for now, Quezon will have this laugh and they can have this rest. They can celebrate for now. But it's going to be a new journey for them heading on to the semifinals of the 14 and under division. Again, still props to the side of Dasmariñas. Again, we saw the coaching staff give their players a chance to experience the court, experience some playoff basketball here in the junior MPBL. So, again, you don't lose, you only learn.
Yes, that's true. And like what I've said, all season long, these kids has lots of exposure and opportunities to play in big leagues, unlike before during
your time,
my time.
And definitely a blessing.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's all a blessing for these kids. So hopefully we see Dasmariñas in season number 3. And now we're just waiting for our player of the game. And again, it was a collective team effort for Quezon. Everybody was contributing, everybody was scoring. Every now and then I said a new name in the roster. So it was really hard to pick a player of the game. But again, we can only pick number 1. No, we can only pick one rather. And now we'll turn it over to Davide Cristobal to introduce to us our extreme.
5 rebounds with 7 assists para sa ating extreme player of the game, off the bench in the past few games, but during the semifinals, stepping up on this game. Syempre kasama natin si Briggs Ismael. Congratulations, Briggs! At syempre sa Quezon Junior Huskers, Bricks, na-mention mo sa akin, itong semifinals game, dito ka lang talaga sobrang pinagkatiwalaan or nagkaroon ng quality playing time. Sa tingin mo, ano yung naging susi para sa panalong to at dun sa confidence na pinakita mo?
Yung depensa lang po na tinuturo po ni Coach PJ. Saka po yung mga suporta ng mga magulang-magulang po namin. Yun lang.
Bricks, for sure, sobrang proud ng friends mo, ng family mo. Ito yung opportunity mo para bumati sa kanila.
Nagpapasalamat po ako kay Go Belet Tan, kay Attorney Mike Tan. Saka po sa mga magulang. Yun lang.
Once again, congratulations sa'yo. At syempre kasama din natin ang head coach ng Quezon Junior Huskers. We have Coach Paul John Reyes and he will be sticking their team as they head on dito sa ating semifinals. Once again, huge congratulations po para sa Quezon Junior Huskers because the 14 under division winning in 2 straight games kontra Dasmariñas. Pasalamat din po tayo sa Pasalamat din po tayo sa Don Benitos for providing our player of the game, this Filipino delicacy. Don Benitos, ang pambansang kasaba. Back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Daphne. Once again, that is our Extreme one-stop shop appliance store player of the game. And thank you very much to everybody who tuned in. Congratulations to the Quezon Junior Huskers for making a sweep. And coming up next is the 16 and under division game between the Leyte Sure Homes Tiger Cubs and the Cavite City Aces Solar. And once again, this has been Cholo Pangilinan, Coach Quito Limbo, and Daphne Cristobal. And this is the one and only Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL.
Liga ng bayan na to, mga kabataan na sugod. Junior MPBL para sa'yo, ang liga ng bawat batang Pilipino. Liga ng bayan na to, klaro na to.
Taas noo kahit kanino, walang ibang sinisigaw ang masang Pilipino. Bumagsak, bumangon, hinarap ang mga hamon, hanggang ang kahirapan tuluyan nating matalo.
Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL would like to thank Extreme One-Stop Shop Appliances.
Dorite Bola ng Pinoy, the first Pinoy basketball brand, Don Benitos, ang pambansang kasava, Nature Spring, #1 bottled water in the Philippines, pound for pound fitness, be Liga Ready, Jinky Skin, empowering women by redefining beauty, Pound Active, for quality sportswear.
Red Dynasty, offering comfort Chinese food and overall 5-star experience. Winford Resort and Casino Manila, a luxury integrated resort.
Special thanks to Mayor Eric Africa and Honorable Michael Gerard Mikey Morada of Lipa City, Batangas for hosting today's games. And Mr. Ivan Nukam of Boss I. Maraming salamat.